All right. Pat,
Yeah.
what's happening, brother?
What's up, my friend? Judas
All
Priest,
right.
part
Yep.
two. I'm excited.
Judas Priest Part 2.
Part two.
A lot of notes here.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with part two. I didn't remember if you remember part one. I was already excited to go into Turbo. And I'm like, oh crap, that's part two. Part two. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, part 1 was great. You know, we got to see the stumble and then the development
Yep.
of Priest as a band, then as a songwriting team. And so now you know, they're in full fledged right now.
Right.
They're in their prime. And so this is like what I'm it's their second half of their recording career, you know.
Yep.
But yeah. So produced by Tom Allen, Judas Priest, Turbo.
Man, I mean, this really hit at that peak MTV time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which I think gave it the boost too. But regardless of that, I don't know. In my opinion, it was like what brought me back to Priest. Even though I still loved what was going on, but I wasn't an avid, fan where I was like, "Holy crap, man, this is." And I don't know if MTV really had that effect. Maybe it did. I can't. I
Yeah.
try to remember when you're in high school, right?
Right.
But you turn on the TV and we're watching MTV all the time, and they're just Turbo Love. I mean, this was on constantly.
Yeah, like this is the album when I went to college. So this is, and I went for, audio engineering, television engineering.
Right.
And this was, on the height of MTV with the new look for Priest. Halford had hair again.
Yep.
And it was of the time. But
Yeah.
at that point, this is what's creeping up here is the diluted what people call hair bands. So
Right.
there's a bunch of bands. I just call them glam. I don't think they're hair metal bands. There's hair metal bands, and then there's actual metal bands that were
Yeah.
differently. But
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I never judged the look by the sound of the band. I guess. I mean, it's music, right?
Yeah.
MTV is what made it visual,
Oh, of course.
right? And I don't think it was as much as, and I've heard stories, where bands would be like, and then we were forced to wear this shit and spandex and this because the record companies were, they were getting this stuff was pushed on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you really look at the bands from back then today, and
Right.
you see how they're dressing now, it's like, okay, you're normal jeans, t-shirt, whatever. I mean, you go back and
Yeah,
watch.
whatever you're wearing that day is what
Yeah,
you're.
and it's kind of what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? So it's not, yeah. Was there?
I just think most bands our age just said fuck it, and that's.
Yeah, I think so.
But
I
then
think
you have
so.
bands like Priest and White Zombie and other
Sure.
guys that totally,
Alice
looking at-
Cooper, they put on a show. It's
right.
all theatrics. Everything kind of goes along with it.
Yeah. All right, so Turbo.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Turbo Lover. They have synths
Yeah.
in
All of
it.
a sudden.
And that was like kind of the metal purist guys were like,
Yeah.
But it wasn't overbearing.
No, I
Still a
I
Priest
dug it.
rocker,
Yeah.
you know.
The guitars are fucking killer.
Yeah, and great screams, of course.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Wonderful.
Okay, about that synth.
Yeah.
Top 40 guitar seemed to get lost in the mix, but it still got a great vocal.
I think so. I think the chorus is catchy. It's one of my favorite choruses. I don't know, one of my favorite. I like the tune. Like I said, I like it. That was one of my favorites.
That's why music is subjective. Everyone hears other, different
Right.
things. Private Property, solid riffs.
Yep.
Rolling bass, subdued Halford opening vocal before he goes into the grand mode.
Yeah. Yep.
And then great backing vocals on this album, by the way.
Oh, God, yeah.
Parental Guidance, of course.
Great. What that was like an anthem, dude.
Dude, yeah, I love this song. One of
What
the
a great tune.
yeah. And I actually did a long form trailer that I could just put on Facebook and not on YouTube to this song
Nice.
for last week's episode because it's such good of a song. 15 seconds wasn't, I'm like,
Not enough,
I
man.
can't put it on the tube, but I can,
Yeah.
play it on.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, perfect song for the time in my life. With
Same.
the group that I hung with, that was like you know,
Right. Right.
everyone's anthem, of course. The Lords of Trash. But Rock You All Around the World, Out in the Cold.
Oh,
I really
cool.
like the guitar work in this one.
Yeah.
And again, the vocals are killer. Wild Nights, Hot and Crazy Days. Meh.
It was,
MTV gimme is what I put on there.
yeah. Yeah. It didn't, that one didn't stick out to me.
Yeah, and I have to say, doing Judas Priest, this is the funnest I've had listening to. I
Yeah.
mean, 18 albums,
Yeah,
people are like,
man.
"Oh, yeah." I'm like, "No, we re-listen to
Yeah.
everything from beginning to end."
From beginning to end, man. We're listening to every one of them. And sometimes
Yeah,
I get so into it, I'll listen to it again. That's when you know you don't have that listening
right.
fatigue
Yeah,
and you're digging it.
and I didn't get listening fatigue
No.
throughout the whole entire Judas Priest
Yeah.
catalog.
I was afraid I was going to.
Yeah,
I think because of what happened with Sammy Hagar and a couple other
right.
bands, I was
I
like,
know
"Ah,
that's what
shit."
you're right, exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
was so happy. I'm like, "Come on,
Yeah.
man, let's,"
Right.
because really, um, I have to say, after doing all these albums, and this isn't a spoiler to anyone, but I truly believe now after this that Judas Priest is the best rock and roll band ever,
Yeah.
minus a couple of things we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Like
Right. Exactly.
but as a whole,
Right.
consistency and
Consistency.
the vocals never waned, changed.
Nope.
There's a constant thread, and that's Rob Halford.
Yep.
But yeah, Hot for Love.
Decent tune.
Yeah, not the best pre-song, but it still kicks ass. Great
Yep.
riff, and the lyrics could be better on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were said that this is when they changed to the glam sound.
Yeah.
Let this be clear: Judas Priest was never glam
No.
by far.
Yeah. No way. And then Reckless was a good ender, but it wasn't like the solid closer. I don't think, but it was all right. It was good. I didn't mind it. But
Yeah.
it's like it wasn't a standout to me. Like if I it's been years since I listened to the album. So
Right.
what I like, I don't know about you, what I like to do just to kind of give myself, because the only way I can go back and after every album go, okay, these stood out to me is if before I listen to the album, I look at all the tracks and I'm like, and if I could start singing the song,
Yeah.
those are my standouts. The other ones that I can't, like, how did that one go? Obviously, it didn't stand out to me, right? So, like, to me, Turbo Lover, Locked In, Private Property, Parental Guidance, and Hot for Love kind of stood out to me. But the rest of them, how did that go again? Go listen to it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just gives you that, the album started off strong and just kept going.
Yeah. I like the mid album. So I like Private Property, Parental Guidance, and Rocky All Around the World as the best tunes on it for me.
Okay.
But the best being Parental Guidance just because it's
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah, I think it was one of the best tunes. Yeah, that and Locked In are my two favorites.
Oh, dude, you can feel the air from 1987 in that
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
in that song,
Yeah, of course.
Smell the bonfire going, people partying.
And it was cool at the end of Parental Guidance to the little nod.
Yeah.
Remember? The little nod to one of the older tunes. So that was pretty cool. That I always liked.
Yeah,
Love
and
Life.
they did that a few other times as we'll
Yeah.
see. And I think that's kind of cool that they, you got a little echo there.
Yep.
But
And it's cool how it worked. That's good.
yeah,
I like
for sure.
Ram It Down.
Ram It Down. Different kind of album cover for Priest.
Yeah.
You know, they went from that fist,
right, to that fist.
yeah. But yeah, this is the last album to feature longtime drummer Dave Holland,
Yeah,
and and said a drum machine was used in the majority of the songs on this album.
which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Unbelievable. But all Rob Halford, all Glenn Tipton, and KK Downing, they're all the writers.
right. Yeah, it says let's see. They lost a tune that was fully recorded during a chaotic period, which resulted ultimately in Halford leaving Judas Priest following the next album. Okay, so producers here we have Tom Allum, Tipton, Downing, and Halford.
Yep.
So it seems to be a glomming on of
Yeah.
dude, sometimes there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
I know. You should have one producer.
Yeah. Then Ram It Down. The general consensus of this album is it got heavier.
Right.
You know, we had that creeping sound. They had to compete now with no, not yet, but soon after this, they'd be competing with down.
Exactly.
But yeah, Ram It Down. A great scream to open the album.
Yep.
Straight ahead, kick-ass Priest. And another Halford trademark scream and squeals in this album. Solid start, man.
Yeah, definitely.
The next one I call well, it reminds me a lot of Exciter, heavy metal.
Yes.
Odd vocal down there for some reason.
Yeah, they're trying something different.
Yeah, and they're starting to experiment again with this song, being it's 5 minutes and 58 seconds long.
Right.
Which for at the time was,
not bad. Yeah, I mean it's not the longest on this album, but
right. But at the time that you didn't,
time.
Yeah, because people would get like Metallica were doing long songs and stuff.
Yeah, Dream Theater, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, totally. Then Love Zone had like kind of a footloose 80s pop beat.
Yeah.
Which
probably was a drum machine.
Right. Yeah. Come and Get It, kind of a Rat song.
Yeah.
And he goes through the whole first verse without becoming Halford in this song, which was kind of weird.
Different, yeah.
And then definitely going for something else, but the music is starting to disconnect, it seems. Mm-hmm. They're starting to be like, the ship's breaking apart, you know. Something's going on.
Yep.
And most likely it's drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
Hard as Iron, okay tune.
Yeah, that one was not a standout, so it was okay. I had to go back and go, I don't remember that one.
Blood Red Skies, very operatic.
Yep,
it's an ever-evolving 7-minute experimental song.
Yeah, but very long.
Like they've always done, except minus the what? I cannot even read my own writing. But
you had something there.
Yeah. Axel F keys. Oh yeah.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Good. Now it makes sense because I wrote this a little bit ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm a Rocker.
Oh.
Yes, it seems like the band is running out of steam.
Okay.
Like it started out strong and then not that they are, but that's what it
just feels like it in the song, yeah.
Right. And it just seems like it reckons back to several other older Judas Priest songs.
Right.
And like, dude, we need another song.
Right. They could have had this one laying around or something.
Yeah. Then the Johnny Be Good cover.
I don't know why they needed to do
I never liked that song. I mean, it was for a movie. They got paid to do it, but I never was a big fan of that song. With them doing it.
Right.
Just didn't make sense,
Yep.
I would have rather heard Motorhead.
There you
go. Love You to Death. Intro and riff sounds like a Ace Frehley riff.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, it's got that reminiscent, but at the same time, the song seems like again a little disconnected.
Yeah,
There's,
not yeah.
I think we had the battle of the guitarists in the control room, maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're both producing, so they're
So we're hearing a different ear because Downing wasn't in on the producing beforehand.
right, right. So you got two guitar players in there. They're both trying to,
The main songwriter, which is
yeah,
Kristen,
trying to figure out the sound. Yeah, they're going back and forth, and yeah, definitely a different, different type of Priest sound. But
yeah. And Monsters of Rock, I don't know that song. I got bored.
yeah, I was not a big fan of it.
But to any other band that would have recorded that song, that would have been a great song for them. But I just don't think this was a good Judas Priest song.
Yeah, sorry, I had to
That's
yawn.
okay. Hey, at our age, man, you're lucky both of us are awake.
Wow, yeah,
Man,
oh man.
we should get like buzzers installed. Like, hey, Vince, you fell
You
asleep.
there? You there?
Judas Priest, what album are we on?
What album are we on? So yeah, overall, I mean, Ram It Down was a decent album. I thought,
collectively, but you
you
could
know,
see there was something starting to happen.
you can tell something's starting to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's sucks because it's like a roller coaster. You know that,
Right.
yeah, man, they come up with Turbo,
Right.
The whole MTV thing, but
Because here's what happens, and they're at their peak. So
yeah,
now they have all these people in there
right,
that weren't,
yep,
and they're trying to capitalize whatever. They don't give a fuck about whatever they're doing.
no,
They're just capitalizing on the energy of the band and right now.
right,
And then you have other people, and then if other substances come in, and then that's another distraction, and it
right,
starts to get a little bit too mucky.
yep, exactly, yep.
And but a band needs some kind of gravy for the roast, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So now we move on to sorry. So what was your standout tunes on this album?
Oh yes, my standouts on this album. Let me go back to the tracks. Were "Ram It Down," "Love Zone," and "The Blood Red Skies," because that was a tune I played a lot. I liked that long, epic, that symphonic type thing.
Yeah.
The other ones I just didn't really, remember off the top of my head till I listened to them again.
Right.
Good songs, like I said. A little disconnect. You're 100% right, but definitely my standouts. Like if someone's going to say, "Hey, name some songs off of Ram It Down," those are the only ones I just really remember from listening to back then. Yep.
And it also could be the resistance to change, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
They
you're
could
so
be
used
victim
to
of changes, Pat.
it. Could be.
But there's a lot of moving parts in the band, no matter.
Yeah.
But all right, so now we go to Painkiller.
Yes.
Ram It Down was my favorite song of the.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here we go to Painkiller. Oop.
Get the right cover.
Yeah, I clicked the wrong tab.
There you go.
Yeah, because I'm aged.
That's it.
All right,
It's a cool cover. I dig the cover.
Totally. Right.
Oh,
So now we've got the first epitaph symbol going on there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's the first time we see it, right?
Yeah.
That's on Painkiller. Yeah. Yeah. Cool cover. I dig the motorcycle.
Right. So and this is produced by Chris Zangaride. I apologize if I mispronounced that, but now they started to get, and this is in 1990. So now they're starting to get heavier. They're starting to, be influenced more by the thrash speed, not screamo, but
right.
So then, they're trying, and then, Nirvana came in.
Yeah, the 90s just kind of.
Yeah. And then after this album, they took a 7-year break from recording.
Right.
And probably a wise thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, there comes a time in a band's career or any musician's career where, I don't know, man, you just gotta you got to stop, right?
Yeah.
And kind of if what you're putting out is not exciting, or maybe one of the most awesome things I've heard. I watched an interview with Nuno Betancourt. He said the same thing about Extreme. They didn't come out with an album for years. He's like, hey man, we just weren't excited with what we were writing. There was
Right.
no point. What you know, and I respect that a lot more than a band that just keeps putting stuff out just to
Right.
put stuff out and take your money.
Right.
If you're gonna be like, hey, look, man, here, we came out with like 4 albums that you love, and now we hit a brick wall. We ain't got nothing good for you. We're just gonna wait till we got something good for you, and then
Right.
we'll release that. So however long that takes, I respect that at least.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can't force art, man.
No, you can't. And there's no. I mean, it's a business sense or whatever you want to call it, but
Right.
at the end of the day, it's still art, and there's no model that you have to go out there and put an album out every year or every 2 years or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Art doesn't work like a business cycle.
Right. Exactly.
But okay, so Painkiller starts very aggressive, sounds a lot like Eat Me Alive.
It does.
Getting into the thrash area. Vocals the vocals hit you like a bulldozer. And there's a ferocious update on their sound with great solos. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not a bad change, because sometimes people would say, "Oh, you're chasing age." This isn't it. This is
Right.
just them, fixing their,
Yeah. They're just kind of rearranging and molding
yeah,
something a little different. I like it. I think
yeah. I love it.
Painkiller. You can't even tell it's a 6-minute song. That's
Right.
how enjoyable it is, right? Like
Oh,
sometimes,
for sure.
is this song freaking over yet? No, this
Right.
one just it goes by and like that was
Well,
6
this is the
minutes.
kind of song that, if you're on the highway and it
Yeah,
comes on, you go the
you
next
go.
exit,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
can hear the whole tune going at,
right.
70.
Exactly.
Hell Patrol, Judas Priest blues bass riff
Yeah,
from way back.
yeah.
Great vocals, of course. Hell Patrol up front was really cool. Great high notes as always. All Guns Blazing, same song as Painkiller.
Yeah. Just shorter. It's a shorter version. I'm gonna agree with you on that.
Yeah, yeah,
It
different
really is.
edit.
Yep.
Yeah. Merchandising.
Yep.
Leather Rebel seemed influenced by Slayer, Metallica, and the changing of the harder thrash speed metal
Yep.
influence.
Yep.
And it's weird when the people that influenced the other younger bands are now being influenced,
Right.
so they become peers. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like full on, not like the tiered.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there
Yep.
seemed to be there was a pecking order back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Metal
Metal
Meltdown.
Meltdown. Yeah.
The 34-second intro was not necessary.
It was not.
Love the vocals as usual. Seems like they're just trying to I don't know, they're trying too hard on this one.
Yeah. Okay.
And Stand By for Exciter
Right.
was a great tune the first time you recorded it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
Okay.
still good.
Still good tune. Yeah.
Yeah. But they seem to be, maybe revisiting certain
Yeah.
riff patterns in a new form,
Yeah.
in a new
Or in a new like
sound.
tone, a new sound. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to see what that,
Right.
So I get it on that point, but you know what I mean? That's
Yep.
pretty interesting. Nightcrawler, Mr. Crowley, Vincent Price opening.
Yep. Yep.
Then goes into Iron Maiden.
Okay. See that.
Yeah. Then in the same, then it seems like it's getting stale. Everything sounds good, but it's Priest plus.
Priest plus. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you could maybe that song, there was some friction in the studio or something. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because live, there's no other better band.
No. Yeah.
You know,
Live.
that's
Yeah.
not a Between the Hammer and the Anvil.
I do think that song.
Yeah, I guess they needed a stage intro.
Yep.
Like that's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, we got give us like 45 seconds to calmly walk out, go up the
Right.
stairs. Like, all right, how's this? Touch of Evil. And this was with Glenn, KK Rob, and Chris, because I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that last name either. But Touch of Evil, good song. I think that was one of the hits
Yeah.
off the album.
Battle Hymn,
Yeah, instrumental. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
One Shot
And
of Glory,
which
lyric.
you kind of think it kind of blend together
Yeah, yeah,
those two
right.
songs,
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
lyrics could have been better.
yeah,
Even though the vocal lines are great, flipping his voice 3 times in one line is
yeah.
really nice to hear. 11, Living Bad Dreams, a
Yeah.
ballad. Says, Pat, I'm sorry to inform you, this is one of the few Judas Priest songs I just could not listen to.
Yeah, it was a bonus track, I think, for that album
Yeah,
too.
I was like,
So yeah. It's a bonus track anyway. Like Leather Rebel Live, it was on there as a bonus.
yeah,
I don't know. They do it. I don't know.
right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, to me, the closest ballad on this album was "Touch of Evil" because it was slow. "Touch of Evil" had that groove, slow kind of. I don't know. To me, right? But I
Yeah.
mean, other than that, um, yeah, I don't know. It was a decent album. "Painkiller" and "Touch of Evil" were the only two songs that actually made it anywhere. I think they were the only hits. But to me, "Painkiller," uh, Leather Rebel, um, Between the Hammer and the Anvil, and Touch of Evil were kind of my standouts that
Mhm.
I remembered. But all in all, a decent album.
Yeah.
Like you said, it really was like they were going for something different, something heavier, and they were influenced by Metallica and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, still a good album, still a good Priest album.
Yeah.
It was better than Alice in Chains. I
Right.
don't like that stuff, so
So yeah, so Painkiller was my favorite tune on this one.
yeah,
And Leather Rebel is another good one for me. All right, so we're moving on to that
yeah,
was Painkiller. We are
Painkiller.
moving on to Jugulator with the new Judas Priest logo.
Yep,
Mm-hmm. All right. Produced by Glenn Tipton.
yep,
So enter Tim the Ripper.
yep. So
Um
different.
yeah, so basically Glenn Tipton, there obviously was a fight for control of the band because now it's one producer, it's Glenn Tipton, the main writer. KK
Right,
is not touching the producing responsibilities. Rob has left the band at this point, or is not part of Judas
not part
Priest.
of Judas Priest, right?
And so now like it's all about saving the brand.
Yeah,
And
it's really what it was. I mean, so you think now this album was pretty much completely just Cliff Tipton and Kiki Downing writing everything,
right,
right? I mean, it's pretty much the whole 9 yards. And they brought in, a singer and said, "Okay, here, everything's done, right?
right,
Sing."
right,
I don't know. So whatever, that was the formula they went with.
right. Yeah, it's not available in digital media.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. New logo. Okay, so enter the Ripper. As you can tell by the tone of my voice, I'm not the Ripper.
I just was not a huge fan of this either.
Um,
Not, yeah, just not.
and I don't mean him as a dude. He seems like a really cool guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But nothing against him, dude. You got to have huge balls to walk in.
Oh yeah. Replace. Yeah,
Bravo on that aspect.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just wasn't like Sammy Hagar with Van Halen. I
Right,
prefer
right.
Dave.
You prefer, right? And you gotta. I mean, you gotta hand it to the guy, like you said.
Yeah,
That's a set of freaking balls to walk in and say, "I'm going to replace,
right,
Rob Halford, and I'm going to be the singer of Judas Priest."
right.
So
Yeah, yeah,
hats off. Oh, I'm not knocking on my mic, but hats off to you, bro. I
yeah,
mean one hell of a go. Yeah. I mean,
right,
but was it Judas Priest?
right. A
You
lot
know,
of people have always been too like uh do you want to know why Glenn Tipton never put out a solo album? Because he's put out 8 of them and they're called Judas Priest.
yeah. There you go. There
You
you
know?
go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he's the main writer.
Right.
You know what I mean? So okay, so Jugulator, vocals, sound the first song, Jokels,
Jokels. These are jokels, man.
Sorry, Tim.
This is
Sorry.
for jokels.
Jokels. Vocals sounded like they were recorded in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Jugulator, there's a Halford note in there, but it seems disconnected and far removed from what people expected from Judas Priest, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm putting it on the fan, not on the song. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of people loved it.
Yeah.
I just was not one of them. Bloodstained, double bass overload, dead meat. My response is, what the fuck?
Yeah.
If I wanted to listen to Slayer, I'd put it on.
Right.
Death Row, dig the riff. Once you get through a minute of bullshit, it sounds like a fucking demo.
Yeah.
I mean, the record, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
The recording seemed, and then for the rest of the album, Pat, that's a big nope.
Yeah. I mean,
Not a fan.
I'm gonna agree with you. I was not a fan of this album. Nothing stood out to me because I think I checked out right around this time.
Yeah.
When I was like, okay, no Rob Halford, no Judas Priest for me.
Right.
And not because, like you said before, it's got nothing to do with who replaced him or anything like that. And that's just gotta suck, man. I mean, I don't think, in all reality, what Glenn Tipton should have done and kicking just like, hey, let's just start something different.
Right.
Call it something else. Let's release it, because whoever you're putting in those shoes,
it's not fair.
It's not fair. You're gonna fucking ruin this guy's his future, because I mean, come on, dude.
Right.
Did he get a good payday? Maybe. I don't know, but I mean, at this point, this is what I was talking. Yeah. I mean, but at this point, this is what I'm talking about, where bands will put out something just to put out something. This was like it was just put out to put out.
Right, because they're in product cycle.
Yeah, or they had to release something, but it was, what did you say, 6, 7 years later?
Yeah.
I mean, 7 years. You waited 7 years, and this is what we got.
Right. It was rushed. It seemed rushed.
It was, yeah, definitely. So yeah, for me, nothing really stood out to this. Good songs, Burn in Hell, maybe. Bullet Train, I got an asterisk next to Bullet Train. I guess I kind of felt something with that one. But that's really all I got on this.
Yeah, nothing for me.
Yeah.
I just didn't like this album.
Yeah. So I guess that means moving on.
Yeah. Right?
Demolition.
Yeah. Demolition.
So let's get to the track listing. Let's see what I got here from my notes. Poor Tim. But
produced by Glenn Tipton again, 2001.
Yes, again. And this was what, 97, and that's like 4 or 5 years later, 4 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. Only album to feature parental advisory.
Yes.
Label on the album cover for its use of profanity in songs Machine Man, Hell Is Home, and Metal Messiah.
Yeah. All songs written by Tipton and Downing. I mean, so again, well, no, it looks like I had two other ones where they had a couple other people on the song writing there, so they shared some love. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this one?
My biggest note: no hooks.
No hooks. Yeah, that's
hooks, no anthems.
No anthems. No, you don't feel any parental guidance here.
Yeah, this album to me was very hard to listen to.
Yeah.
And I went with the open mind because I'd never heard this album before.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
Yeah. And my main note here says if Halford didn't come back after this album, Judas Priest would have been done.
Yeah.
Would have been over with.
It would have been over with. Yeah. I don't think they could have taken another album like this.
No.
And I think they knew it.
Yeah. Demolition, Machine Man, first song, no notes, one-on-one. Finally, a Judas Priest Priest riff.
Yeah.
Love the riff, just don't like the vocals at all.
Yeah.
Hell is Home. My notes are I can't even. Jekyll and Hyde, a mosh tune.
Yeah,
Manson, White Zombie,
White Zombie.
keyboard.
Yeah,
Who wrote the lyrics? Whoever wrote the lyrics should stop.
Tipton.
Um,
That was all him.
Close to You, Judas Priest ballad.
Yeah.
Only I have one word, and it's this. Devil Digger.
Cool
No,
title, but just
yeah. Bloodsuckers. Decent riff, close to a Judas Priest song in tone, but
yeah,
lyrically doesn't work.
right.
In between, sounds like an amateur recording with the vocal tracks. What the fuck? Because we have a high bar for Judas.
Oh,
And if
sure.
something happened, maybe we missed something artistically that they thought they were trying to.
Yeah, either that or my thoughts. Like one of my notes was record company didn't want to put a lot of money in because
Right.
they're probably like, hey, you don't have Rob Halford. We're going to give you X amount of money. Go do what you got to do.
Right.
Put out, put something out, but we're not investing because we're not going to get any return on our investment.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's what these record companies want. What's my ROI? Right?
Oh, yeah,
I'm
they want
gonna
product.
I'm going to give you X amount of money. You're going to record this album. We need to make that money back. And
Yeah.
these guys are not stupid because they know they got to pay that money back.
Right.
So if they're not going to make, it's not going to sell.
Right.
I don't know.
We've got 2 weeks in Birmingham.
Right.
Okay. Feed on Me, no notes. Subterfuge. 12-year-old lyrics, like a 12-year-old wrote them.
Yep.
Buzz guitar, riff effect, cool riff. Lost and Found, no notes. Cyberface, no notes. Metal Messiah,
Yeah,
Kid
okay,
Rock, Priest,
okay, too.
dude.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. They were trying something
Kid
there.
Rock, Priest,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it was an okay tune, but they were trying something different. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving credit to where KK down. I mean, that was his ship to steer, and he had to try to save it as best as he could.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because it was up to him,
right.
at that point. And no matter what, I mean, even though he wasn't the original guitar player, I still think this is Glenn Tipton's band.
Yeah, at this point, right,
Yeah. But all right, so Angel of Retribution.
Very cool cover though.
Yeah. Digging it. Okay. Big crunchy riffs are back.
Yes.
Halford back on record after 15 years.
15 years.
Dude, it didn't seem like that long.
No, I mean there was a small,
Well,
amount of time, but I mean a long period of time, but it felt like a small amount of time.
right. Yeah, and he had come out with a couple, Halford had come out with the Fight Project and
Yeah, Fight was cool. There's a lot of
I
cool
love
stuff
that
he was
band,
doing.
dude.
So maybe that's why it felt like Priest never went away because Halford never went away.
Right. Yeah.
So he was still always in the spotlight. He was always releasing stuff. So
right.
it felt like that
Yeah.
period of time where we had to put up with this.
Right. And they put this in the hands of someone else to steer.
Yeah,
which I think was a good idea.
Yep.
Because Glenn's probably fucking tired at this point.
Yeah.
And a great producer knows what Judas Priest is. So
Right.
It's no secret. They don't have to go mining for the sound. You know what I mean?
No.
It's all about songs at this point.
And what a cool opener for when you got Rob Halford back, Judas Rising, right?
Yeah.
I thought
it's
that was
reminiscent of the lingering of Victim of Changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that song, dude, Victim of Changes, great. Yeah. But I totally agree. Let's see. Some new vocal squeaks and Priest is back. Yeah, what a great song to open up with, man.
Yeah.
Deal with the Devil. Now we're talking.
Right.
Like they're back. They're just they kick
because Halford's writing again.
Right.
And I think that one was Where is my Halford Downing and Tipton wrote that one. So there they got back in there. And I believe actually, if I have it right here, that's who wrote everything on this album. So the
Yeah, they
three of
did.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah. So there you go.
yeah, and updating, and their updating makes sense now.
Yes.
It's placed in the right area.
Yeah. And
You
you
know what I
can
mean? And
kind
that's
of
due to the
feel
producer.
it's due to the producer, but you can kind of feel I'm doing the Italian thing. You can kind of feel that
Hey,
hey, you can kind of feel that Halford brought that fresh outside what he was doing with Fight and everything into Priest and said, "Hey guys, look,
right? Yeah, I said
you know,
new air's been breathed into Judas Priest
yeah,
after 35 years. That is more than impressive
yeah, yeah,
because he
100%.
came back with that new energy.
Yeah, he came back with a new energy, and I think it energized the rest of the band. And
Right,
who knows if he brought people
right,
who are because I didn't look at that stuff, so I don't know who produced
right.
that and who was work. He might
Roy
have brought
D.
some people along and said, "Hey, let's try something new and try something different."
What we need to do is put out some metal.
You're right, and that's it.
That's all we want to do is spread the word for metal.
Right.
But yeah, Judas Priest is back. What a great album, dude.
Yeah, I think this is a really strong comeback. If you want to call it a comeback album, I guess we can.
Yeah, comeback, reformation, or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
But yeah,
But you're right. After listening to this album, if Halford didn't come back, this band would have been done.
right.
If they had another, album
Stinker.
without
Yeah.
him, it would have been I think they would have just been dropped by the label and
Well, you wouldn't be playing,
right.
you know,
Yeah, he'd be playing Joe's Bar.
right. But yeah, I think it's a great album. And but were we on Deal with the Devil?
Deal with the Devil. Yep, we're on Revolution
Yeah,
now, which I think
Revolution.
was a great tune.
Oh yeah, and it says Halford is back and in total control. Great fucking tune.
Yep.
Tipton is using uh some kind of old sound from British Steel.
Yeah.
He's
Okay. Yeah.
following his kind of tone
Right.
in a certain part. Worth fighting for, Judas Priest ballad.
Yeah.
This time Rob's singing in a different way, in a different key than he usually does in Judas Priest ballads.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah. Demonizer, solid Priest tune.
Yep.
That's what's cool when Halford's in the back. There's no solid Priest. That means, great song for anyone else.
Great song for anyone else. Yeah. Because I think, great guitar tones. The tones on this album, I think you nailed it. They kind of brought back some of the old, sound and then just kind of brought it in with some new technology and it just sounds amazing.
Right. Wheels of Fire. The riffs are back and I'm loving it.
Yep.
Halford's singing in a lower register and I'm digging it.
Yep.
Angel. Seems like this should be sang on a Broadway stage. Not a bad thing.
No.
But that would probably be the best way to see this song performed.
Well, I looked at this.
He'd probably like win a Tony.
Yeah, and I put here Halford showing his creativity with his voice.
Yeah,
and which is what he kind of
yeah. I'm told it's not a dig at all.
No,
I mean, it could totally be a Broadway
Yeah,
it would be interesting actually to see Halford do that.
Yeah,
I'd go.
Phantom of the Opera. I'd see him do that.
Nice. Metal god of the opera.
Right.
Hellrider.
Hellraiser. Yep. Hellrider.
Yeah. Balls Out, heavier Judas Priest. Kind of ties Rob Halford's solo efforts to Judas Priest.
Yeah,
it's a connective tissue.
That's exactly how I feel with this, and it's another one of these 6-minute songs. It doesn't feel like it's 6 minutes to me.
Right. Eulogy, another slow tempo song.
Yep.
Happy they gave Halford 3 solo songs.
Yeah.
And it's piano.
Yep.
Loch Ness, 13 minutes and 29 seconds, guys.
So here is like
what?
This is like that Iron Maiden Flight of the Icarus, or they're like, we're gonna show these Dream Theater lads.
Right, exactly.
A thing or two. Yeah, 13 minutes, kind of rough. it's hard for me to say good song, but you know,
Right.
it has its moments in those 13 minutes.
Right. And, to be they put it at the end.
Yeah, they put it at the end, so
And here's the other thing, I don't know why people were actually surprised by that, because they've always experimented, always.
yeah,
So
right,
that was, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where they felt they weren't so it wasn't a money grab song, you know what I mean?
No,
Like, it was just them jamming. It was kind of but
yeah,
13 minutes and 29 seconds.
yeah. No, all in all, great album. Now, I don't have standouts because this was not an album that I listened to a lot before.
Yeah.
I might have heard a couple of songs, but this is the first time I really went and balls out listened to the whole album.
Yeah.
But the songs I love, like Judas Rising, I like Deal with the Devil, Revolution, Wheels of Fire. I like almost every song. You
Right.
know, is a great tune, and like I would go back and listen to this album again and just kind of enjoy it
Right.
instead of critiquing it. Like I put it on and just jam it while I'm
Yeah.
you know
And what's
doing
interesting,
what us old guys do, laundry, whatever.
right. Well, a few of these
Vacuuming.
songs makes total sense that they went to Nostradamus next.
Yes. So
I mean, it's like they were feeling their oats, but they didn't know exactly what the oats were.
right.
You know what I mean? And then they
Yeah.
went to Nostradamus.
Yeah, let me pull up my Nostradamus. Now,
Um,
I like this album, and I love Nostradamus. I love that whole
Now for
theme.
people who don't know, Nostradamus is a concept album,
Right.
one continuous story.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say I loved it because I love that whole Nostradamus thing. I find it
Right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Nostradamus.
the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I
I
think,
find it fascinating. Thank you.
yeah,
That's the word I'm looking for.
fascinating.
Fascinating.
Um, yeah, this was a weird one.
It's weird. Yeah.
Uh, okay, so in my weird universe, I don't count this as part of Judas Priest. Like, this was their Broadway show that they should have done.
Yeah. I'm going to say that too.
Their
Exactly.
touring, performance piece, because it is a step away from Judas Priest.
It is 100%. I
And
think they were looking for something and
right, but they had to put that Judas Priest label on it.
to sell it.
Right, so it's a little different. So if people are expecting meat and potatoes Judas Priest,
No,
this
this is
is,
not it.
yeah,
Yeah. This is
creme brulee,
yeah, right.
more
You just
progressive.
walked into, a steakhouse where everything's a la carte.
Yeah,
I don't let's
yeah,
put it that way. But you have to take this one. Because I never listened to this album before,
yeah, me
so
neither.
but I saw it, I heard of it,
Right,
um, dug the idea of the concept because big Queensryche fan, love
sure,
operas, the Who, love that stuff, right?
right,
So I had to take this one in a whole afternoon, which is why we're here a little later than normal, coming back for part two. But I had to take this one in
yeah,
because I wanted to kind of find the time where I'm not going to get disturbed and almost read it like a book. Like just look at the lyrics as the songs are
yeah,
going, so I can kind of understand and do that kind of thing. So with this album, for me, it's not as much as hey, I like this tune, I like this tune, I like that tune. It was more of let me consume this whole album as a story and then go back and just jam out the tunes and see, kind of what I like. What about how did you take it in?
right,
You know,
totally, totally.
so how did you kind of absorb this one?
Too many keyboards.
Yeah,
Um, it's the only Halford album I wouldn't buy. I'd listen to it.
yeah,
Um, Here's the thing: I may not buy the album as a band product, but if it was a show and I went to the show and I would love the live show of it.
right,
Like I said, it'd be a great, they probably that was who knows, that might have been part of the deal. They tried to sell it as a Broadway show.
yeah,
I think this was that, but
yeah. And that's like I said, that was my outlook on this album. It
yeah,
wasn't like I'm going to listen to this to listen to what song I like, and
right,
I couldn't even sit here and tell you because I didn't really make notes of, I like this song, I like
Right,
that song.
and it's no diss to them because they've
No,
always experimented, you know?
right,
So, this is totally expected that they would do this
yeah,
album at some point in their career.
yeah.
But,
And it's weird that they did it, like, so soon after Halford came back.
well, they had to get it out of their system.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, maybe that's where Halford wanted to go next, and they say, "Okay, we'll do you know, this would,"
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
because, you know, how many songs off this album would they play anyway? They'll probably do a few they probably did a few performances with all the tracks, maybe.
yeah,
But, you know, at this point in their career, what are they gonna play 1 or 2 songs off of this? So it doesn't matter,
right.
you know, on their
Well,
live.
what's funny is now some of the, um, way this came about, and I got this, note here, and I almost forgot about it. I wanted to bring it up. So, the idea of the story for this album, let me see where I had everything at here. Oh, crap. It went away. There it is. I got all my notes digitally. So it says that the concept idea really originated from their manager, Bill
Yeah.
Kirbishley. Is that how you say it? Kirbishley? Sorry, Bill Kirbishley. And it was just kind of basically pitched to them while they're on tour in 2005. And then KK Downing revealed in an interview in 2007 um, that they recorded the 18 tracks, and they were gonna start working on this. So it wasn't really the band's idea as much as it was their manager's idea. And I don't know if he was maybe listening to Mindcrime and and other stuff,
I
and was like,
think
"Hey,
that's
man,
exactly what happened, dude.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and hey, you guys should try something like this." But the
Right.
band went with it, So um, it's got this whole chorus feel in there, with the
Yeah.
chorus and the keyboards, like you said, and it's unlike anything that they've ever even attempted before. So it's not like
Right.
they went a different. They just totally took a fucking left
Right.
hand turn and then made a right, and you're like, whoa, wait, whoa, what did you guys just do?
Right.
So it's different. I suggest. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and call out. I like this song. I like that song because I really can't say that with this album.
Right.
I'm going to suggest that if anybody wants to consume this one, and you dig Nostradamus and that kind of stuff, um, just take an afternoon and listen to it.
Yeah. Sure.
There's a lot of 7 minutes, 1 minute, piece. It's like an Operation Mindcrime,
Yeah. It said,
but
this is
not
the
as good.
project they had to get out of their system, but it led to the breakup of their lineup.
Yeah,
Dawn of Creation was the intro, Prophecy, heavy riffs, little blown and blown out bass, and a King Diamond type vocal from Halford.
yeah.
Awakening, that's a 53-second
Second,
tune. So
yep.
there's a lot of little,
Yeah, like Queensryche did with Operation Mindcrime. There's
interludes,
little pieces here and there, right?
yeah, revelations, keyboards, or as I call it on tunage, European bullshit.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what it is.
The Four Horsemen should have been filmed as a Broadway stage show.
Yeah,
uh, War, Sands of Time, great haunting Halford vocal, some coloring he hasn't done on an album prior to this in his voice.
yeah,
Pestilence and Plague, Death is a 7-minute 33 song.
yeah,
It's heavy metal opera.
yeah.
Peace, these filler songs are unnecessary.
But it's the story. That's why.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yep.
Conquest, they love to experiment, and I can't fault them for it.
Right.
Lost Love, too many tunes sound alike, but not in the best way. Persecution, I do not like this album apart from Halford.
Huh. Okay. There you go.
See, Halford's, no matter what, he always has a consistent vocal performance.
He's entertaining. Right.
You
Yeah. He
know,
brings it on.
there's never a bad vocal from Rob Halford.
No.
So everything else is what gets judged.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like listening to Rob Halford, I never once got listening fatigue. His voice doesn't do that
No.
to me,
Never. Right.
because they figured out how to record his voice early on and kind of kept with it. Okay, then we go to the other part of it. Solitude, Exiled, Alone, another 7-minute 40.
Yep.
Shadows in the Flame, Nice to hear an acoustic guitar with Judas Priest.
Yeah.
5, Vision EQ is all whacked.
Okay.
The mix is compromised. Hope unnecessary. New Beginnings, When Will It End? Calm Before the Storm, wasn't a fan. Nostradamus, okay tune. I like the riff under the verses and the change ups, but Future of Mankind, 8-minute 33.
8 minute. Yeah. Big one.
Conquest, they love to experiment, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry. New Beginnings, Calm Before Nostradamus, okay tune. Future of Mankind, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Judas Priest doing a project, not
It is.
it's not a Judas Priest recording an album of you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right,
totally,
both
I
of them,
totally
but
agree. Yeah.
I think it's separate from the band.
It is. Like I said, it was something the manager brought in and said, "Hey, try this," and
Yeah.
who knows where their minds were or whatnot, but they did it.
I had fun listening to it, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's just
And
not
it's a
one, you
cool
know,
story. If you guys dig that kind of stuff, go check it out.
because that's a lot of work that they did on this
Yeah.
album. I
Oh
mean,
God, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and this is 2008, so, probably they're doing it at Glenn's home studio, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we're getting into Redeemer
Yeah.
of Souls.
There you go.
So this is Faulkner's first, Tipton's last producing duties. First
Yeah.
without KK Downing,
Right.
produced by Mike Exeter and Glenn Tipton, but not really. All the tunes are written by Halford, Tipton, and Faulkner. A handing over of the guard has taken place.
Yeah.
Faulkner gets Priest 101 education as a writer. Way cool. I feel Tipton is relieved to have Richie in the band to pass the torch to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my opening statement on this one.
Okay. There you go.
But yeah, what do you think about this album?
This one's not bad. I mean, this is another one that I really didn't listen to a lot.
Yeah,
You know, I don't know where I fell off track here with Judas Priest, but it was probably right around I don't know, after Turbo.
yeah. This is the first.
I ram it down.
This is the first
So
time I heard this was for this.
yeah, this is why I love doing this because
Right.
listening to
Holy
these for
shit,
the
dude.
first time, yeah,
Right.
and it's like, hey, what did I miss? But I think this was obviously coming out of Nostradamus. This was another switch,
Right.
right?
Yeah, for sure. But it was like they were already on track. You didn't need that first album to kind of
Yeah,
burn through. Okay, here's the new guy.
right. Yep,
They just kept on being who they were.
yep,
And it says it's a rounder, fuller sound, but undeniably Judas Priest.
yeah. It's like they came back to the
Yeah.
yeah,
They know it works.
right.
They know what makes them metal golds of metal.
That's right.
Golds of metal. Yeah. Halford has gone back to classic Judas Priest vocals. That made himself famous. Definitely feel the new energy to the band. And a new background vocal
Right.
is born
Yeah.
with the addition of Richie.
Yeah.
Redeemer of Souls. I got lost just jamming along with this tune, dude. I forgot I was doing this and was just like,
It's a good song for 3 minutes 58 seconds. I mean, it's one of those quick rockers, right?
yeah,
Good rock song.
absolutely.
Then we come back with a 6 minute Halls of Valhalla.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it seems they have a lot of fresh ideas and they know what they need to deliver.
Right.
Like they get it. Okay. We
Yeah.
get it. Sword of Damocles.
Yes.
Classic vocal phrasing here, great riffs, experimental tune in a different context. Drums are amazing on this.
Yeah. No drum machine for sure.
March of the Damned. Ozzy sounding opening vocal
Ozzy, yeah.
line,
That was I say. Yep.
totally, but still doesn't seem out of place.
No. Another one of these 3-4 minute rockers.
Yeah.
Um,
Down in
yep,
Flames.
that's another one.
Great riffs and vocals.
Yep,
High pitch ride cymbal, and the bell top is back
yep,
on the cymbal work. Great dueling guitars. Rhythms are really tight on this album.
yeah. Oh yeah, you can feel the new fire with the
Yeah,
new guitar player in the band.
and this song's got a kick and solo in it.
Right.
Hell and Back, great solo is the first
Yeah.
vocal stretch as far as not in his usual register, usually pained. Just I don't know, something was weird about his vocal on this one. Only weird vocal comment I've ever had with Rob.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, and it's purposely not in your face.
Yeah.
The guys, it's a subtle tune,
Subtle. Yeah.
you know. Metalizer, awesome opening screen.
Yep.
Okay tune, not my favorite, but still a great tune.
Yep.
Seems a bit out of place in the song order,
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
but not from the album, just the
Right.
song order.
I think it belongs on the album. Yeah. Right.
Oh, for sure. Crossfire, solid tune. Just enjoyed listening to it. Has a 70s influence vibe. I really like this song a lot.
Yep. Another 4-minute rocker.
Yeah. Secrets of the Dead, a different kind of Judas Priest ballad.
Yeah. Another good.
Because a lot of bands, they put out the same kind of ballad,
Yeah.
time after time.
Right.
But this has a slower groove rather than chord picking.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Battle Cry, Iron Maiden type of
It is.
changes, era vocals a little bit, and classic tipped in solo.
Yeah.
Beginning of the End has a cowboy gunslinger vibe opening. Subtle Priest with darker tones, and Halford's pain returns
Yeah.
as if mourning the ones he lost and celebrating the new, a rebirth, if you will.
Yeah.
So his pain vocals are back.
Yeah.
I really dug this album a lot, dude.
Yeah. This is great. Like I said, this is good Judas Priest. It's kind of off of Nostradamus. It's coming back to their thing.
Right.
Having a new guitar player and Richie coming into the band, he had something to. I don't want to say. I don't mean something to prove, but what great as a guitar player, how awesome is it? Hey, you're going to replace.
Right.
You're going into Judas Priest. Okay, I'm going to bring my fucking A game plus, and that's what he did, right? And he helped
For
around,
sure.
and he put he put them back on the map guitar
Yeah, and
wise.
the fans love him, and he does
Yeah.
great stage work, and
Right. So yeah, very very
great
cool.
player. What he literally gives his heart to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And okay, so now we move on to
Firepower.
Firepower.
Yeah.
It's kind of got a Screaming for Vengeance vibe on the cover there a little
Yeah.
bit. Got a cup, maybe a Cylon or a
It
57 Chevy.
could be something.
Something.
But yeah,
I had not heard this album.
I heard some of it because when it first came out, I was kind of excited. I dug the visual, and I'm like, huh, almost looks like they're older, early '80s album covers type thing. So I was like,
Right.
"Ah,
It's got that
what
vibe.
are-
With the
yeah,
Screaming for Vengeance.
what are they saying here? Are they bringing some kind of something back?" So, yeah,
The classic sound of metal.
yeah, it's a classic sound.
Mm-hmm.
Get my tracks here, my notes. Yeah, because this one was very much a every song. Nothing was over 5 minutes, so it was all they were all boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, just
Rock,
taking
rock
care of
tunes.
business.
Yep, yep.
Let's go. Boom, boom. Produced by Tom Allum, so he's back, and Andy Sneap.
Yes.
So yeah, a lot of bands rely on legacy and just kind of tour on their back catalog, and they stop recording, even when it's cheaper than ever to record.
Right. Yeah.
And then that's when okay, so it's a money grab for you. You're not.
Yeah, you're not into or they're just not
musicians write songs.
right. Or they're just not motivated to write songs. Yeah, like they're just out there to do whatever they're doing. So
yeah, so there's a bunch of different ways to do it, but Judas Priest keeps on recovering and putting out great songs, That's what a great band does. They write songs and they release them.
That's it.
Sometimes 14 tracks works,
Right.
but not often, as we
Not
discussed
often.
earlier.
Yeah.
You need to be a tight outfit, like
Oh, to put out this.
the
Yeah.
mighty Judas Priest to put this album. Every track on this album is really good.
Yeah.
This is actually my favorite Judas Priest album,
Okay. Okay.
and it surprised me, and I couldn't have been happier. And what's cool about this journey with the album by album,
Yeah.
going through and learn the history, the stuff you talk about, the stuff you don't talk about, but know,
Right.
and
Right.
then it's like you're rooting for these people,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
these characters that you've been
Yeah.
going on this ride with,
Right.
and looking over their whole career, and you're like, oh,
It's exactly what it's almost like you're taking that journey with them, and you're feeling their creative ups and downs and
right.
struggles, and then there's you feel the pain. You're like, shit, what did you do here?
Right. Yeah. So when this album was, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's a lot of great tunes on this album, and it is by far new era Judas Priest their best.
Dude, I listened to this 5 times in a row.
Shit, there you go.
It was great.
Yeah,
So Firepower, fuck yeah, that's how you
Yeah.
start an album.
yeah,
Lightning Strikes, great in your face, modernized classic Judas Priest sound and tune.
yep,
Evil Never Dies, great blanket riff. I really love this song. The layer of the vocals with Halford is always one of my favorite tones to hear. Fitting solo with the full-on Judas Priest classic performance in their solos there.
nice.
Never the Heroes, good tune. Necromancer seemed like it'd been missing something, but I can't put my finger on it.
Huh. It was a quick. It's a 3 minute. 3
Yeah,
minute.
something. I don't know what it was. Maybe
Yeah.
a mix was off or something,
Okay.
but good song. But there's just something that
Something's
was
out there. Yeah. Okay.
Children of the Sun, measured excellence.
Yeah.
Seems designed for Halford's live performance.
Yeah.
His performance rhythm and how he moves now.
Right. Yeah. Because
It's like,
things change. Right. You get older.
Yeah. Got like the Halford rhythm.
Yeah.
Guardians, piano. Their 5th album to have a song with piano on it.
Yeah. It's just a quick. I found this to be like a quick break, in an instrumental break in the middle of the album kind of thing.
Yeah, and classical electric guitar.
Yep.
Rising from the Ruins, great riffs on this album, great groove in the song opening. Then the momentum is broken with the slower verses, in my opinion. But seemed like the song's backward.
Okay. Or it would have been better the other way.
Great tune, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Flamethrower, the last sounding Judas Priest riff on the album, still great, just a step away.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It just seems like an end credit tune to a superhero movie.
I dug it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's the one they probably gave to Marvel. Hey, does
Right. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and hey, they're businessmen.
Yeah.
Spectre, a nod to Turbo Lover.
Very much so.
Yeah. Great Judas Priest song. This is exactly what fans of this band love.
Yeah.
And love the solo. Trader's Gate. So during this, Seth is sitting on the couch over here.
Yeah.
And he goes, "This is Priest, right?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I have to listen to these bands." And we all went to Queensryche together. I mean, he's come up with this stuff.
Yeah.
But he never heard album by every track. You put on your 3 tunes, move on to the next,
The new generation.
and he's like, "I have not gotten sick of Judas Priest." I'm like, "Yeah, and you never will, man, because there's something, and that's, I think they're the greatest rock and roll ever. But No Surrender, one of my favorite Judas Priest tunes.
Yeah.
Great groove.
It kicks your ass in 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes.
This is what Judas Priest is to me. fucking quality, full sound legends.
I like that. That's true. Yeah.
Absolutely. Another favorite is Lone Wolf. It's very close to a song we wrote way back in the day.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of got, so I really enjoyed the song. I enjoy songs with grooves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of grooves.
Good hooks. I gotta have hooks, grooves.
Yeah. And that's my happy place. Sea of Red, odd beginnings to the last track of a Priest album. It's almost like the song they'd use what do you call it in that Space Jam.
Oh, okay.
A possible last goodbye song because you never know.
You never know.
It's Priest band life passes before their eyes. Brilliant ballad, but it was just kind of weird, you know what I mean? Because it could have been their last song.
Could
These
have been
people up in age and have health issues, and and Richie went through some health things himself. So
yeah, amazing, man. This was a great album, and it is like one of them that I'm going to put on my regular rotation.
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, man. Judas Priest,
right.
crazy. Yeah, this one was great. I mean, you can't really go wrong if you pick out, I don't know, Sad Wings of Destiny, British Steel. These are just kind of like my standout albums.
Yeah.
Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders of the Faith, Turbo, Firepower for sure. I feel bad, man, for that Tim Ripper Owens era.
Yeah.
I mean, those 2 albums in there that just really didn't. But again, like you said, how do you come in and replace a metal god? How do you do that?
Yeah. No, thank you.
No,
I wouldn't want that job.
No. But yeah, man, A+. I mean, on these guys, right?
Oh, absolutely, all the way. Like I said, I think up to now, and it changed my mind.
Yeah,
I think, in my opinion, Judas Priest is the best rock and roll band ever.
There you go.
Above Rolling Stones, Beatles.
You heard it here first. Yeah, I mean, you Rolling Stones, Beatles. I mean, let's look at it, for what it is. I mean, yeah, those bands came out at these certain times and eras where,
even call it my era. So if it's like, whatever, I'll Judas Priest is still
right. I mean, the thing is, they were setting trends, changing the world. I mean, there's a lot of different things were going on, and I think they were breaking the mold for what they were singing about and things like that. I mean, so nowadays, I hate to say like it's all been done. I mean, you can't shock anybody anymore. I mean, people, unless somebody came out on stage and ate their own shit, I don't know what's what are you gonna? I mean, yeah, maybe that's what's left, right? I don't know.
Just so happens.
Just so happens we got a band for you. No,
I shit on the rug right before the show.
But I mean, it's just there's I think it's just being true to yourself, writing good tunes, and the audience is going to be there for it, right? And that's the bottom line. And Priest kind of does that, almost like Queensryche did their own thing, and people came and listened, and they're fans. You got your diehards, and you got people who are just going to listen to a song here or there. But for what it's worth, man, that was Judas Priest, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And let us know what your favorite Priest album is, man.
Absolutely. And put in the comments down below what band you'd like us to cover. And I got an idea for the next one, Pat.
What do you got?
Okay. So I was thinking, to me, original Black Sabbath bores me.
Yeah.
But I love Ronnie James Dio. So he replaced Ozzy.
Yeah.
So how about we start with Heaven and Hell, a Black Sabbath album, then we go to Rainbow, and then continue with Dio solo albums.
So basically we're going to do a Ronnie James Dio retrospective. I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. God rest his soul. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Right on. Right on.
All right. That'll
All
be,
right. Well,
unless someone's got a better idea, because we just keep coming up with the great ideas. So let
right.
us know.
Absolutely. So that's Creativity Speaks, album by album. Judas Priest Part 2. Thank you, Pat, brother.
Thank you,
And
my friend.
we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.
So, as always, horns up and keep rocking.